The market continues to bounce. You can see over here with the Bitcoin bubbles chart, or at least the Banter bubbles chart, the altcoins are starting to turn green. So it's looking really, really good, at least for the market in the short term. On today's show, we're going to cover a potential trade setup. I have actually quite a few trade setups for you today. Some of them have not come into fruition yet, and some of those coins are already in the zone. So without further ado, let's get straight into the show. And starting off with over here, Bitcoin on the weekly. What I want to focus on, and I think I'm going to change the color because I noticed on mobile I couldn't see this very nicely. So let's change the monthly levels over here. 1 second, 2, there we go. Let's go to white. That should be a bit clearer for you. So if you have a look over there at the white lines on the top and on the bottom, that marks out the previous month's high, low, and mid-range. Now, the reason that this is relevant is because you want to look at different altcoins as well and where they are in relation to those levels. Since Bitcoin has been the leader of the market, we've covered this chart already at length, which in the sense that we held the supporting trend line. Let's quickly grab our tool. I don't have that either. 1 second. Then you can see everything nicely. There we go. So we have the supporting trend line, which is held beautifully for Bitcoin. We have the third higher low, and then we have the push, which went up through that previous month's high. So that's ultimately a range that you want to be focusing on. And I'm going to show you how this lines up with a bunch of different altcoins. So range high, range low, and mid-range. If you look at Ethereum, Ethereum is yet to push through the top side of the range, showing that Ethereum is clearly lagging. But the positive sign is that it has broken at least back above the previous month's low, meaning that Ethereum is back in the range, and therefore you could potentially start to target around this $2,020 mark. Once it gets above that level, I would consider taking profits, and then you want to start to look to possibly even position yourself short back into that range. So looking for something like this. And it's going to be exactly the same whether you're looking at Ethereum or altcoin. So something like that, and then potentially it might break back into the range. At that point, you have a short opportunity where you can short it back down to mid-range, and then this may be a great buying opportunity when you come back into that mid-range at a later stage to reload with those profits. Now, I want to look at a couple of altcoins. I have a whole lot of them. I mean, it doesn't matter which one you look at, but same thing. The levels are marked off. A bit of free alpha for you over here. I have mentioned this before, but I'll do it again. If you want these levels marked out, go to SpacemanBTC levels. So under your indicators over here, type in, there we go, Spaceman, what a legend, SpacemanBTC, for giving this all for free. It's that one over there. If you go to that, you double click on it. There you go. Now you can mark out everything that you want to look at. The 4-hour ranges, the daily ranges, Monday range, weekly, monthly. In this instance, I have the previous high low and the previous mid. I changed the color to white just so you can see it nicely. And here's an example, right? So there's the previous month. Let's go to Solana. It might have a bit more history than that chart over there. So you can see Solana still way, way, way below the previous month's mid. If Solana starts to expand and get into this region over here, that's going to look like a major bullish setup where it could potentially push above the highs, or excuse me, this is MATIC, above the highs over there of the previous months. Solana, Solana's one over here. So same thing. Only once these coins actually start to get inside of that range, then do you have a potential trade setup and you can start to mark out your invalidation levels. Let's look at Cardano. Where's Cardano situated within that range? So a lot of them you can see still very, very far from their previous month's low. They've been quite hard hit. Let's look at XRP. Okay, XRP actually is still situated, ironically, above the previous month's low, which is pretty interesting considering the state of the majority of the altcoin market. So we'll cover that on the lower time frames in a moment. I just wanted to outline that for you. That is basically how you can go and find those levels, and then you have something to work with. Continuing on with Bitcoin over here, you can see if you use the short, the medium, and the long-term moving average with the Consensus trading system, it is still looking pretty good in the sense you have the confirmed, right? Third high low, so low, second high low, third high low. Price is now situated above the short, the medium, and the long-term moving average, and we're only just getting the cross as of today. There you have it, the green above the purple, and this is the posture that you want to see. As long as price can continue to consolidate sideways over here, it will allow the moving averages to start to catch up, adding additional support to Bitcoin underneath those candles, and that will give it the propensity to push through this major resistance level at about 30,500. You can see that was the previous top that was set on a closing basis, and it's no wonder that price is struggling to get through that level. But as long as we consolidate over here, you're probably going to create some sort of a bull flag, and that will allow for a powerful push up, creating probably another candle like this up towards that $32,000 zone. So I'll cover those again on the lower time frame basis. Lining up with the stock market, you can see crypto is still playing catch up. S&P 500 is slowly coming down. Nasdaq had a good day yesterday with a tick up, and then you have Bitcoin over here catching up to those stock market levels. And then lagging behind is the pink line, which is going to be Ethereum. We're still looking for Ethereum to catch up to Bitcoin, and that's everything we've outlined on those lower time frames. If you look at the actual stock market, here's our main range. So let's quickly draw it out. There you go. This is going to basically be the prior range high, and this is going to be the prior range low. And price is now starting to break out of a high time frame range. This is high time frame, right? Because it's been situated within this level, or at least capped within this level for quite some time. So if the stock market successfully retests the top side over here, holds that level, that would be incredibly bullish. It can then start to try and get above the gray box territory, which is coming in at that 4570 to 4580 zone. That is major resistance for the stock market. Once you start to clear this, then pretty much all bears will have to capitulate, because you are then making new highs on the stock market, getting above the ultimate top that was set in December of 2021. And can you believe it, when you consider all the bearish narratives and news that's out there, yet the stock market continues to climb. It continues to climb what they call the wall of worry. So keep an eye out on that. Back test for the stock market is playing out the way that we've outlined. The interesting part is going to be over here at 43.30, and then if it loses that, possibly it's going to retest a little bit deeper to 42.10. But ultimately, I do expect a bounce from the stock market from that zone. Lining that up with ETH-BTC. So if you are thinking of playing the altcoin market, again, make sure to correlate the coin that you're looking at against Bitcoin. It's fine if it's a trade. What do I mean by that? Well, let's quickly grab our risk to reward tool. So this doesn't change anything, right? If you have a ratio set up, a risk to reward ratio of, let's say, for example, 3-to-1. So for every $1 that you risk, you're going to win $3. Then it's not that important, right? It's not that important to look at the BTC pairing, because a 3R trade is a 3R trade, whether it's being done on Shiba Inu, Bitcoin, S&P 500, gold. It doesn't matter. It's a 3R trade, right? But if you're looking to hold swing trade positions that you want to hold for months, where you're not using a risk to reward tool, you're kind of just trying to play strength, then it's very important that you mark out the altcoin that you're looking to hold for prolonged periods of time against the Bitcoin chart, and make sure that that chart is actually indeed in an uptrend. So higher highs and higher lows should be the name of the game. If it doesn't have that, you're better off holding Bitcoin. So I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so looking at ETH-BTC, what is going on over here? Ethereum BTC is coming into the bottom of an important range. It's right at the 0.25 level. So we have our range high, range low, 25% of the way through the range, mid-range, and that is 75% of the way through the range. So your level is 0.06266. That's the zone that we're holding right now. It was a long-term target. The target got hit, and now we're still expecting a bounce off of this zone. So as long as you don't get below that wick, especially on a closing basis, that wick that's over there, then you would expect that ETH-BTC is going to pick on up. And if that does that, of course, altcoins are going to probably outperform Bitcoin, right? So that's why you're looking for short-term altcoin plays. There's quick trade opportunities, and I'm going to show you a couple of them using the power of 3 trading method. Okay, once it gets into the resistance trend line over here at 0.06589, then you need to consider taking profits out of that, probably going back into cash or BTC. So that's what we're watching over there. That is ETH-BTC. Let's move on to Bitcoin and Ethereum on the Ichimoku cloud. Again, showing you with the ADX, the DI positive and negative. We're looking for the ADX to support this rally. On BTC, it is just consolidating over here. You can see moving sideways and slowly down. So we want to see that start to aggressively pick up. The green line also to tick up. What about Ethereum? If you look at Ethereum, Ethereum is slowly starting to get supported by that ADX, suggesting that the strength is coming into the market for the bulls. You have the crossover here with the green above the red, meaning bulls have taken control. And ultimately, the big move will start to take place when you start to close, I would say, even 4-hour candles above 1911. So 1911 on Ethereum. Closes above that will probably lead to a greater breakout. And then you can start to challenge this high over here. I want to tie that in using this chart just to give you an analogy. There you go. So once you close above that 1911, which is going to be this zone, the white over there that I have marked out, then you're going to rapidly move towards that 2020, which is going to break above the prior month's high. So that is the target zone for Ethereum. That's the trade that I'm currently still in. My average entry was at about 1820, and I continue to hold that position. At this point, if we go below 1820, the idea is wrong, and I'll probably stop out of the position. I'll give you some trade setups as well with the risk to reward tool and everything at the end of the show. Stay tuned until the end. Also, take 1 second out of your day, guys. It helps to get the show content out there. Smash the like button. I can see there's over 1,000 of you live right now, but we only have 246 likes. It really helps to get the show content out there. Please do me that favor and smash the like button. Okay, again, comparing Bitcoin and ETH, you can see over here, both of them are consolidating. This is Bitcoin on the bottom. We had a bigger move on Bitcoin. We're still looking for the same thing to take place on ETH, which means one more big push up for Ethereum. And the targets are clear. I've just given that to you. Just over $2,000 could potentially come very quickly as long as ETH moves sideways over here and holds up without breaking down. Let's quickly give you the pivot levels. I didn't even give you the pivot levels. Let me just quickly get them over here. So we have 1797 is going to be for ETH. 1797, as long as ETH holds above that. So it's pretty much more or less that same zone. And then what about for Bitcoin over here? Bitcoin's pivot level, as long as Bitcoin holds above 28,476, 28,476, which of course is a little bit higher. Let's just move that up. 28,476. There we go. So that's the region. As long as Bitcoin doesn't come back below the previous candle's low from the last day that we made, any pullbacks into that zone, RSI continues to trend up, meaning that the bulls have the advantage and strength within the market over there. Now, yesterday, when we looked at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, I told you, I know this is a messy chart, I will clean it up for you now, but I told you, be expectant that any little pullbacks that take place are probably going to be eaten up very quickly. If that does happen, it's a sign that there is still more in the tank, right? That basically the price could still rally up towards that $32,000 level. You can now see that the stochastic RSI has come all the way back down, started to reset. This consolidation has allowed for the momentum oscillators to catch up in a more healthy fashion and reset. You can see if you look here at the BBWP on the bottom, that was, of course, an aggressive move, very, very heated. And now it started to contract, right? So that is not a reversal. It's just meaning that it's a little bit of a pullback within the market, a pause, and then ultimately the market will likely mount another assault towards the upside. And if you zoom in, you'll see, of course, right, when you have these big moves, big move consolidation, we've played this time and time again, at least a dozen times over the course of this year. It's ultimately a bull flag scenario, right? So big move up creates the pole. You consolidate and consolidate and consolidate and consolidate. And ultimately, boom, it leads to the next major leg up. So don't be surprised if you see that. I am going to give you on the low time frame on the next chart, the levels in which you can possibly gain an entry into these positions. But what I want to outline to you, for those of you who have extreme FOMO that you missed out on the move, there is some hope for you. I'm going to show you in a bit. Let's first clean this up. Okay, let's take off that fib tool so it doesn't make a mess. Okay, so this is kind of what you're looking at. On the bottom over here, you can see as clear as day the cross, right? That is the 50 and 200 EMA golden cross. Now, oftentimes this happens more than 9 times out of 10 within the market, where that crosses to the upside or the downside. When you see an overextended move, and look at the size of this move over here from bottom to top, we already rallied from that cross 15%. That is an enormous, enormous move, 15%. This usually, price will consolidate. It might rally one more time. So let's say it does this. Price consolidates and it makes it to the 32K level. The EMAs will start to trend up slowly, right? And usually you will get a back test at a later stage, a sharp sell-off and a pullback into that zone. Now that is going to be your opportunity. That could potentially bring price down towards that $28,000 level, which is about $2,000 less than what we're at right now, right? That will be your final buy the dip opportunity. Usually you get a big bounce off of that zone. And if Bitcoin, which it has, it's broken out of a high time frame structure, there's a possibility that you will see a trending move start to take place. So that's what you want to do. You want to try time the trending move. Keep an eye out on the 50 and the 200 EMA. Whenever you start to get a major pullback, these are for the guys wanting to hold swing positions. You're wanting to hold a trade for months, weeks to months. Then you'll be looking to time your entry into the 50 and the 200 EMA around that region. Ethereum will be no different. Here's Ethereum. So Ethereum is still about to get its cross. The cross hasn't come yet. Definitely been lagging Bitcoin, but it's the same thing, right? You have a big move up, and now you pulled back and you're consolidating, creating a potential bull flag formation, right? So that's your flag, and ultimately flags lead to breakouts. So that's what I'm watching over there on the lower time frames. Now, for the trade setups, firstly, there are trades that have been dropped as well in the Discord. A lot of you would have already seen it. I'll bring that up just to show the audience, for those of you who are not in the Discord, what that looks like. But this is what I'm looking at, right? Now, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a trade entry over here, because that dip may have already taken place. If you look on my Twitter, yesterday I outlined the scenario where I said, watch for a sweep below the previous month's high. That sweep took place, and a reclaim of that previous month's high. Once that takes place, that's probably your bullish indication that you had a bit of a swing failure pattern over here. And as long as you hold that previous month's high, it's bullish, and you're looking for a move back towards the main high time frame resistance over there at the top. So let me quickly turn off these indicators, and I want to make this a bit more clear for you. So, okay, we'll leave that one on. Let's turn this one off, and let's go on to a higher time frame. So this is what we're looking at, right? Zooming out, just for a bit of perspective. I've redrawn the charts just to make them a bit cleaner and neater. A bit of perspective, this is what we're looking at, right? This is going to be your high time frame range high, based off of the consolidation and the breakdown from all the way back in May of 2022. That's coming in at 32,645. High time frame range high. All the way down to the bottom, this is the line of best fit, which is the reason why I put that as your high time frame range low, 19,603. I'll just consider all of this over here. Deviations, then deviations, deviations, and you back into the broader range, right? So this is your broader range. This is the range that we're operating within now when we're looking at this market on a lower time frame. And then mid-range, of course, is the mid-level between those two. I've taken from the wick over here into this major sell-off that we had, which was creating the bull flag, right? Remember the pole leading into the bull flag, consolidating down, and that now led to the big breakout move, and you have your diagonal trend line. Ethereum, I'm going to show you that one as well, but that is essentially what we're looking at. So, and then I'll zoom in. Let's show you Ethereum for perspective. Okay. Just let that load up. Trading view is pretty slow today. TikTok, is it going to come? Okay, there we go. Here's Ethereum. So Ethereum's high time frame range. You can see the range high. It looks a little bit different to Bitcoin. I've taken this as the range high, $2,144. The range low is going to be down here at 1,075. I've taken my mid-range at 1,530. And then again, I used the Spaceman tool to mark out the previous month's high, previous month's low, and previous month's mid-range. So we're operating within a range, if that makes sense. Okay, now let's go into Bitcoin on a lower time frame and then kind of show you the thinking behind this. All right, there we have it. Okay, my trading view is working very hard. It has a lot of things to think about here. And then let's quickly put on our Lux Algo indicator over here. There we go. That's the price action concept showing us where the highest selling volume has come into the market. So if you look on the hourly chart, there has been quite a bit of selling volume, which has kicked in over here at the top that we just said at 30,500. That's 34% selling volume. What I'm kind of viewing this as is still big bull flag. So here you go. That's your pole. Is it loading? Let's just try that again. So here is the pole. There we go. So if this breaks out, you're looking for something like that. There you go. That's your breakout. It takes you just above the high time frame range high. I would expect that to most likely lead into a deviation. If it plays out and you have the breakout, I'll watch for swing failure over there around that 32,600. Break back into the range. If it can't get and hold above that range over there, you enter a short trade over there and then ultimately expect it to break back and continue within this range. So we treat it as a range until we properly leave that range. So that is Bitcoin over there. The levels, I will post this as well straight after the stream into the Discord, but I'm looking for any sweeps around that wick over there as an opportunity. Now, I don't think that this was the main local top that's been set. This is why I'm playing out the bull flag scenario. I still think that more than likely we're going to have one more push up over here to take out these shorts. It will probably be quite an aggressive move. Then you'll see the funding rates will be extremely positive, meaning everybody is jumping in on the long side. The longs will get paid in the short term, which will be this move, quick and aggressive, and then ultimately they'll probably get taken out of their positions. So basically your entry, 29,526. Where are you wrong? Well, you're wrong if you come anywhere below this level over here. This is the breakout candle, well, one of the big candles that we had, which led to a bit of a consolidation. Again, you can see the Lux Algo volume that came in at 29% of the volume kicked in over there. And that led to a bigger move up, and now we're just consolidating. So I'll be looking to grab any wicks that come into this level. Yesterday, I did take the trade. I ended up closing it before I went to bed. I don't really like to sleep with my trades open overnight. I prefer to monitor them. So you're holding above the previous month's high. Therefore, as long as you consolidate above that previous month's high, then ultimately you're looking for a little bit of a push higher. What about Ethereum? It's exactly the same line of thinking. I'm just going to give you the chart setup over here. All right, while it loads, guys, smash the like button. It helps to get the show content out there. And then if you do want to check out Lux Algo and their indicators, by the way, they have a lot of them that are for free. But if you do want the paid version, which gives you a lot more features and it's kind of just a lot cleaner and gives you a whole lot to work with, then check out the description below. You do get 30% off if you use my sign up link, 30% off of the fee on that. Okay, so here is Ethereum. Same thing, right? Ethereum is creating a bull flag, consolidating after a big move up. And let's zoom in. Same thing. Look, previous month's mid-range. We're not like Bitcoin, we're there by the previous month's high. Here, this one's been lagging the previous month's mid-range. If you see any sweeps that come down below that region, it's an opportunity to get long. Where are you incorrect on this trade? Same thing, if price comes below 1801, well, then you completely stopped out of that position. But I'd be looking to build a position within this region. And when I say build a position, I mean scale in, right? So you don't just go in with your whole portfolio over here if price hits there. Typically, the best way from my experience is to scale in, where you take one position over there and then you take another one over there and another one. And if there's more wicks that come down, I leave my last one for right there by invalidation. That reduces your risk. It's like pyramiding into a position. It just helps you to reduce the risk. And that's what we do as traders, right? We want to reduce the risk. So if you see any sweeps that come into this region and reclaim, that's an opportunity. You go long over there. Perfect. Stop loss stays down here. And then ultimately we're targeting all the way to the top. So the levels, entry then would technically be at 1,865. Mine's already in at $1,830 is my entry. So around here. And your take profit is going to be 2,144. Stop loss just below 1801. So 1,800 and you're out of that position. Okay, so that is Ethereum. Now, there definitely were some altcoins that I wanted to look at. I'm going to bring those up in a moment. Some of them don't look too bad, and they're creating power of 3 structures. Let's look at the liquidity before we go into those altcoins. So your heat maps, if you take a look at the 7 days level over here, you can see that $26,000 zone, right? So if price comes into that zone, I think that will be a great opportunity. I think at the moment the market is really running with this rally. I do think that this rally is real. I don't think that it's a fake out. And therefore, I think any price action that comes into here will be a gift. If you look at the delta continues to remain green. The longer that this does this, the more dangerous it becomes to start taking leverage long. So just be aware of that. Eventually, this will have to reset. And the only way it resets is by liquidating the longs with a big spike towards the downside. That spike might happen quickly, which is also based around why I'm looking at something like this, right? If you even just have a little move that comes down and back up over there, that could take them out of their positions. All right, remember also, when you are taking these positions, I want to emphasize your risk management. Use this crypto win rate website. It's really great. This is an example, right? So let's just look at Ethereum, for example. Let's say that is my entry, okay? And that's my stop. You take it from the entry to the stop, pull it back. How far away is that, right? That is 3.52% away. So if my stop is 3.52% away, you come through to here, you write your stop, 3.52%. My trading account is a $50,000 sized account. How much risk do I want to take on this trade? How much of that account do I want to risk? I want to take minimal risk. I only want to risk 0.5%, 0.5% on each trade. If I take 0.5% on ETH, 0.5% on Bitcoin, I'm now risking 1%. I want to trade this on 5x leverage so that I don't commit too much of my capital to a leverage exchange. And then you click calculate. That now shows you that the required margin, all I need to do is put $1,420 into that trading account at 5x leverage with that stop loss in mind. If my stop gets hit, I'm going to lose $250, which is 0.5% of my $50,000 trading account. So make sure that you use these things. This is how you trade professionally, guys. This is what will make you last long within this business. If you are gambling and you're kind of just guessing your entries, you're going to get wrecked. You have to actually sit and calculate and then write this stuff down, or use an automated journal, an automated journal that just pulls everything from the exchange. So keep an eye out on that. All right. What else did I want to cover? So I wanted to go into some of the alts. If you look over here, some of them look pretty damn strong. KASPA is one of them. So I did look to just take a position right now on spot in KASPA. Let's see if it's filled. Okay, I got filled. My KASPA position has been filled because it's gone over here. This is what I'm looking at, right? It's pretty simple. It's just higher highs and higher lows. There it is. I mean, this is a straight uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. If you mark this off against Bitcoin as well, it's going to be exactly the same thing. So the KASPA position that I just took is this. Let's quickly pull this out. Long position. There you go. So your stop is going to be below there. And KASPA, I think I was targeting around this 31 cent level. So I'll post this in the Discord. Let me show you the Discord very quickly. Here's the Discord. Here's some of the trade ideas that have already been dropped. So go through, check out the Discord community over here. You have trades from yesterday as well, which were short trades on Link and Cardano. Those worked out to play out pretty well, profitable trades. Go through to the Discord. There's a lot of information over there that is for free. If you do want to join the Discord, then make sure you check out BitGet or Bybit. Sign up using one of the links below. Send through your user ID. That's your key to get access into the private group. And then quickly, let's look at a couple more. I had them written down over here. Give me 1 second for the altcoins. All right. Let me just see on my note section. Okay, well, one was, of course, we were looking at Chainlink, right? So let's quickly go back to Chainlink. I do want to remind you, Chainlink, I would be looking for a potential entry because I still think there's a good chance that you're going to have a power of 3 scenario that's going to play out over here. What is the power of 3? The power of 3 trade scenario is this, right? You have a consolidation. The market consolidates. It's range bound for quite a long time. And then eventually you get what's called manipulation, which is a sell-off. How deep this goes, that takes time to establish, right? The point is that you're waiting for a reclaim back into the range and you want to see acceptance within that range. So Link may already be coming into that range. We're going to look on the lower time frames. If it manages to hold that with a break of structure, higher highs, higher lows, that would be looking good. And then you can play it back towards the top side of the range. You take some of your profits when it gets into that level. If the power of 3 plays out, the power of 3 is, again, consolidation, manipulation to the downside, and then it leads to expansion. Expansion would be your upside move into your next major, wherever it's going to be your next major resistance zone. So Chainlink is one of those that is printing a potential power of 3. The other one that's potentially putting in a power of 3 is Shiba Inu. So here's Shiba Inu. Have a look at that. Same thing, guys. Look at this. I know these are very risky plays, but you're going to risk the same amount that you would on any other trade. Consolidation. There you go. Boom. You lose the range low. Manipulation. Down. Get back into the range. And then you're looking for expansion. So let's quickly take a closer look at this one. All right, I'll mark out these levels over here. Let's grab this tool. Let's look at Shiba Inu. We have already covered Chainlink, so I'm not going to do it again. But I would say that's your main part of the range that you need to get back above. If you start to see Shiba break above this level over here, this is your zone. You can see that's going to be your underside resistance. Get back above there, something like this. So it's to put on your watch list. I'm going to draw it out for you. Let's grab this tool. If you see Shiba do something like this, break above, maybe it hits in, maybe it gets really aggressive, hits the 200-day moving average, pull back. So now you've broken structure, right? You've created a high in relation to these areas on the left-hand side. Strong pullback into this zone over here. That's your opportunity to get long, and then you reclaim this level, right? You get back above that range, and then you can go for the expansion zone. So the reason that I'm bringing this up, it's not a trade that is ready yet. This trade could play out sometime towards the end of June. It's something to keep an eye out on if you do get the big move up, higher high, higher low, break of structure, and then basically you can time your entry after that. So guys, I think that brings us towards the end. Let me know if there's any questions over here. Okay, somebody asked, let's just quickly go back to Chainlink before we finish. Where is Chainlink now? Chainlink, here we go. See, Chainlink is already starting to move. It's starting to break back into that zone. What you want to see on Chainlink is you want to see a bigger move first. So I would be looking for something like this, a bigger move above this area, breakdown candle. The main breakdown candle is this candle over here, because this could become a bearish order block, right? So you need to be careful of that. You need to be careful that price. Let's change the color over here so you can see it nicely. Where's the yellow one? Yellow box. So you need to be careful now that this isn't a bearish order block that leads to a major ejection on Chainlink. Don't front run these ideas. That otherwise it would look like that, and obviously just continuation down. So what you need to see is this. You need to see this level cleared from here above, break above that zone, the order block that led to the breakdown, break above that zone, similar to Shiba Inu. Maybe it gets really heated, guys. Maybe it gets super aggressive, goes straight into the 200, and you're not able to catch that move, but you'll catch it on the pullback. The pullback or throwback into that level, flipping the resistance into support, boom, at about 578. Now it's back in the range, and then that's your opportunity to go long, right? So if I zoom out, there you go. Here's your range. Now you've convincingly broken back into the range, and you're buying the retest, right? So you're buying the next higher low. First, you create a higher high, then you buy the next higher low, and that is your opportunity to get into the trade. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the bell notification, subscribe to the channel. I think it's been a pretty good trading week, all things considered. Let's see what happens there with the ETH chart. If ETH can manage to break out above that level, remember, take your profits if it gets above that $2,000 level, because it will probably come back into the range. Look at the altcoins that you like, mark out the previous month's high, low, mid-range. You're looking for a break back into the range, so above the prior month's low, and that's your opportunity to get long, guys. If you see something like that, I will see you guys all on the next one. Have an absolutely stellar day. That is it from me, and cheers for now.